All right, welcome back, kings and queens, y'all. Listen, I cannot even keep a straight face. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Donald has entered the chat. The chat. President Trump has officially entered the group chat, and I need somebody to please take me out of it. Yeah, today, President Trump actually teased that there could be a potential pardon for Diddy if Diddy is convicted and if Diddy is able to prove, of all things, that he was treated unjustly and unfair. I cannot believe that this is America and we are going to talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in or if you're new to the channel, well, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
Listen, this is hilarious to me. This is crazy to me. And a lot of times I do a great portion of serious commentary, but this is hilarious. Donald, sit down, have a seat, stay in your presidential place. Stay in your presidential place. And hold on. I have so many thoughts about this case. Today was not a good day for the prosecution. And as a matter of fact, I know some of y'all feel like Capricorn Clark may have hit the ball out of the park. I don't. I think she turned the jury. And if you missed today's commentary, please feel free to go back and check out today's live that I did. And some of you are in your feelings about it, but I think Capricorn Clock exposed a different perspective, a different angle of this very sophisticated operation, right? That's not only run by Diddy, but it shows that he had help from some of the women. And today was not a favorable day as it relates to the prosecution. They ripped Mia apart, right? They ripped her apart. Um, Capricorn Clark, some of you say, well, you know what, Queen Sheba, she didn't really take up for Diddy. She really didn't take up for Cassie, for the defense or the prosecution. She told what it was. Yeah, but it was very unfavorable for Cassie. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you, this is starting to look like this was more of a lifestyle for these people. And this man just may get away with it. But as of today, according to TMZ, President Trump is weighing in on a Diddy criminal federal trial, saying that he would look into the case and consider a potential pardon if the jury returns a guilty verdict. A guilty verdict. Ain't that crazy? Is that not crazy to you? He was very specific. He used a very specific word choice, not innocent, but guilty. I will look into it if he's found to be guilty. That's not good. One way or the other, this man just may walk away free. Let's continue, and then I'm gonna play a snippet. Trump just doled out a bunch of pardons and cumulations this week to a slew of celebs, and he was asked Friday if he would ever consider pardoning Diddy, giving a pardon to Diddy. POTUS said that he hasn't been following the Diddy trial, I call BS, all that closely, and he would have to look at what's happening and look at the facts. Now, let me ask you something, Donald. When have you really looked at the facts? I think what's in your head is the facts, right? I think whatever you believe, whatever you decide on whatever given day is the facts, that becomes fact. Trump said that if Diddy was convicted and if he felt Diddy was quote unquote mistreated, he may consider a potential pardon. Listen, TMZ says those are some pretty big ifs. Diddy's literally on trial right now, and we're likely not even halfway through, right? Through the trial. And frankly, all of this sounds a bit premature, I'm sorry, a bit premature according to TMZ, even if Trump's recent batch of pardons prompted the question from Fox News' Peter Doocy. Now here's my question. Here's my thing. I don't even think you should be involved. I think the fact that a president of the president, right, speaking on this naturally introduces a bias. It naturally carves out this path for the jurors to feel like they can be openly biased. You have people talking about jurors and now showing facial expressions. They're not trying to conceal what side they're on. And I think it's a disservice to the justice system, to be honest with you. The fact that we have our president of the United States getting involved and just sending a message to the judge or jury that no matter what you do, if I feel like I need to step in, I will. Let's continue. TMZ, they continued on to say Diddy and Trump are both big figures in New York. And in 2012 on Celebrity Apprentice, Trump said, I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a quote unquote good guy. But Trump seemed lately, y'all, according to TMZ, Trump seemed to distance himself from Diddy in his answer, saying they haven't seen each other or spoken to one another in years. Is that a fact? Trump says that when he got into politics, his relationship with Diddy busted up, though he says that he would not have an impact when it came to considering potential clemency. I don't know. I just feel like he probably should not have spoke on it this soon. This soon, considering where they are, right? So let me play the clip with Trump speaking on the case when asked by Peter Ducey. Give me 1 second.
And this one's a little bit more of a page 6 question, but back when you hosted The Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
You know what? Don't get me started over here. Don't get me started. But I have this interesting video that I would like to share again with you all for those of you that didn't have the flexibility to tune into the live, right? Regarding Diddy and what they believe to be possible immunity that has been granted to Cassie. Listen, or I don't even know if I want to do it because I really hate to open up that can of worms, being that I've already covered it. But I think what we're seeing is smoke and mirrors, okay? I think we're seeing smoke and mirrors. I think they're dangling, or there's a huge possibility that a carrot is being dangled in front of our faces. So don't be shocked if the powers that be yanks it back. And I think they are giving us the impression that they care about the women who may or may not have been abused. But at the end of the day, the system, which consists of good old boys, are going to do exactly what they want to do. Okay? I'm not going to play the tape or the video snippet that I was going to play, but this is just the latest thing in the Diddy case, the Diddy mess, the Diddy drama of it all. Does it matter at this point? Do you feel like votes have been purchased? I know they're going through the motions of going through the trial, but at the end of the day, do you think behind the scenes a final decision has been made? Let's take it to the chat. What are your thoughts?